different working groups. The fair itself, what you're seeing here, was all organized by volunteers. Everything that you have seen this week was created by the at-large community with the help of staff, with a little bit of help from our friends ICANN, of course, to ship us all over to this lovely location in London. And you will notice we even managed to make it not rain for the first few days. I'm not quite sure about tomorrow, but there's going to be some singing, so it might be raining later on, who knows. But it's really great to see so many of you here, and it's the second time ever that at-large is able to bring so many people in one location. The first time was in Mexico City. There were about 70 to 80 at-large structures that were present. They weren't even on site at the time because there wasn't enough space in the hotel to have them. On this occasion, there's not enough space in this hotel to have us either because it's so busy and so full, but yet they managed to fit us all in here. And it's really great to see 150 or close to 150 at-large structures that have joined us. And this is really, really great. So well done. It's great to see you here. I had a few questions about my tie already, because as you know, I'm European to start with, but the tie is not blue. And the colors are green for Lacuralo, yellow for Neralo, blue for Uralo, Epiralo is in orange, red. I'm terrible with colors, by the way, red, and Afralo is with orange. Now you found out I'm not very good with colors. That might be one of the things. So there you go. But my tie is actually of neither of these colors, and that's because one of our at-large members had to leave yesterday. One of our at-large members had to leave yesterday in a hurry because his father passed away. This is something that has happened to me as well. He offered me a tie before leaving, and I felt it was good for me to wear it because my father also passed away during an at-large meeting. So I know what it feels like, and our memory is with him. So we have a number of speakers that have come to see us from far away. The first one, unfortunately, was not able to make it here because he is currently in a meeting, in an important meeting apparently, with a small company in California called, what was the name of it? Google. Some name which I guess I haven't heard, but you must have. Google, apparently. And that's of course Vince Cerf. He has spoken to us in the past when we had our meeting in San Francisco. And on this occasion, unfortunately, he wasn't able to make it. He wanted to, so he sent a video over for us. And I don't know how the magic will happen, but hopefully we'll have Vince Cerf on the screen.
Hello, my name is Vince Cerf. I'm Google's Chief Internet Evangelist, and as many of you know, a former chairman of ICANN, among a number of other things we've done in the past. But today I'd like to talk about the 50th meeting of ICANN, and most especially the congregation of at-large communities. My understanding is on the order of some 180 at-large organizations will be convening in London at the ICANN 50th. I can't tell you how satisfying it is to hear this word and to know that you have engaged so thoroughly in coping with internet governance and policy by means of the at-large structure. This is something that has been missing in many respects from the ICANN internet governance models, as having a real working ALAC environment. And I hope I haven't offended it, suggesting that coherent the scale and scope of what you plan to do will add enormous credibility to the discussions which will be undertaken in the course of the next several months, surely into 2015, concerning internet governance in general, and in particular, the proposals from the National Telecommunications and Information Agency to end its special contract with ICANN for the conduct of the ICANN functions, and to replace that oversight with a multi-stakeholder operation, which I hope can be folded more generally into ICANN's normal practices. I'd also like to suggest to you that the many Internet Society chapters, some of whom I understand are also part of the ALAC structure,
on the net. So, another word of thanks, of course, for Google, who made this happen. We've had 3 sponsors for the whole summit. We had Google, we had Affiliates, and we also had our friends at PIR. It was really great because thanks to them, we managed to do some work and to also have those kind of moments to be able to relax a little bit. And I think that's really, really thankful, especially after the amount of work we've done. Now, next we have, someone who really is the quintessence of civil society, as far as I'm concerned, as far as I think. A person who has come from a country that was a long time ago under oppression, that has seen a wall fall down, that has seen other walls come up, but that has also seen the internet grow, and has definitely seen ICANN grow from the moment ICANN was not even a baby, but before ICANN was a baby, when ICANN was just a seed or just a thought into someone's mind. One of the architects of putting ICANN together is actually someone from our own community. And now I'm so honored to be able to invite Wolfgang Kleinwächter to the stage.
Hi. What I learned from my father was the difference between bad policy and good policy. You know what good policy is? Good policy is short speeches, long sausages. Bad policy is long speeches, short sausages. Remember the time, Olivier, remember the Cold War? Leonid Brezhnev gave 5-hour speeches. No sausages. Bad policy. So, I'm just warming you up for the real highlight. The real highlight will be Nena. Everybody who watched her speech in Sao Paulo was moved. I remember this remarkable moment when even the president of Brazil, Dilma Rousseff, had tears in her eyes because Nena was so convincing. And so it's like in a big rock concert, you have a warming up band and then comes the rock star. So that means I warm you a little bit up and with, you know, very, very short speech. The key of this, and Vincent just mentioned it, is for ICANN, the multi-stakeholder model. And a multi-stakeholder model works only with a strong at large. That means without you, the multi-stakeholder model doesn't work. What are the alternatives? The one-stakeholder model. This is what we know for the last 100 years. You have a government which makes the policy and takes the decision. You have an industry which lobbies the government. And if people are not satisfied, they are protesting in the streets. So these are the 3 stakeholders in a one-stakeholder model. This is bad. Even worse is the 2-stakeholder model. If industry and government are negotiating behind closed doors and then present to the citizens, to the rest of the world, what they have decided, and you can take it or leave it. This is even worse. That means we do not know this, what sometimes is called public-private partnership, and it's a deal behind closed doors. We need the involvement of all stakeholders, and this is the multi-stakeholder model. As we discussed in the early session 2 days ago, the multi-stakeholder model is about sharing. That's the definition which comes from the Tunis agenda. Sharing in policy development, sharing in decision making. Also sharing in values, sharing in principles, sharing in programs. So, but if you want to be a partner in this model, you have to do your homework. And I hope you did your homework here in London, and you take homework back home, because good internet governance starts at home. And one important point was raised this morning by Alan Peake in the session with the ICANN board, when he said, you know, we have so many different ICANN constituencies in each country. Are they really interlinked? Are they already organized a national multi-stakeholder platform? That means to bring ICANN home with a small ICANN icon in every country based on the multi-stakeholder model. This would make the idea much stronger in your home, and this would make the whole icon much stronger. And now I hand over to our rock star, Nena. Thank you.
She is indeed a rock star, but I thought that maybe we'd give a little bit of background about her on top of what Wolfgang has said. Nena works to develop cutting-edge collaborations in Africa. Her work has a particular focus on the Alliance for Affordable Internet project and the Web We Want campaign for human rights and through the web. She is an experienced development professional who has worked in the ICT field in Africa for over a decade, as well as leading a highly regarded consultancy platform. Nena has in recent years co-founded the Free Software and Open Source Foundation for Africa and served as a board member of the Open Source Initiative. I know there are a lot of open source members and people that supporters of open source. Put your hands together for that. Well done. Her career has allowed her to work closely with many civil society organizations, the African Development Bank, the Digital Solidarity Fund, and has seen her involved in many phases of the UN Africa Information Society Initiative. She has lived and worked in 5 African countries and is fluent in English, French, and a number of African languages. And today, she's actually coming just for this event. She was on the flight last night. She's coming. She has to go back to Africa. Is it tonight or tomorrow? Well done. Thanks for coming here, Nana. Please.
Oh la 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 la. Oh la 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 la. Right. Good evening, people. Good evening. I came just for this, that's correct. And quick story. 2 days ago, it was a Sunday evening. You know, I was getting settled to watch my match. And then I said, let me just have a look at my emails. And there was this email that says, please be aware that your website may be at risk of not functioning as the order will expire in the next few days. If this order is not renewed promptly, all related website files, emails, databases will be permanently lost, and heavy restoration fees will be levied for deleted domain names. On a Sunday, I was afraid because that domain name, I've had it for over 7 years, and it's actually part of my digital identity. And for the first time in 7 years, I was really threatened over my domain name. Then I really got angry. Like, who is this guy? Who does he think he is? Does he really know that these domain names are part of my life and play a big and important role in who I am today and who I want to be tomorrow? Does he remember that I have to pay online, and because I live in Africa, I have issues processing online payment? Does he know? And then why is he saying in the next few days, when the contract actually ends August 1? Shouldn't he have said in the next few weeks? Then I started thinking that, come, cool down, man. Why are you angry? This may be an automated message. And maybe it's not even a he. Why did you just suppose it's a he? And why do you think he cared anyhow? And that got me start asking myself fundamental questions. Do I have a right to expect that organizations that are concerned with technical coordination of online life and living, do I have a right to expect them to be mindful of human rights, social justice, equitable and sustainable development? That is the question I came here with today. And I think that I want to ask that question with a great group of people. Do I have a right, as a citizen of the web, to expect that organizations that are concerned with the technical coordination of internet be mindful of human rights, justice, equity, and sustainable development? And maybe that they should even be responsible to help advance things. Yes. My name is Nena, and as I always say, I come from the internet. I pay for my 6 domain names. I work with the World Wide Web Foundation as the Africa Regional Coordinator. I would like to talk to you about 2 things I work on. The first one, as Olivia said, is the Alliance for Affordable Internet. And the next one is the Web We Want campaign. With the Alliance for Affordable Internet, we aim at lowering the cost of broadband to enable more citizens. You know how a fish lays eggs in thousands? So we want to produce e-children and bring them on board. For what we want to do is to ensure that human rights are respected online as well as they are done offline. So for me, I still do not know why I can invite you here, but what I know is that I want to ask that question. Do I have a right as a user to expect that I can be not only concerned with discussing, debating, and developing policies about technical coordination of the internet domain names system, but also to work to advance human rights, social justice, equity, sustainable development? Do I have that right? Names and numbers. Everyone knows that when we talk about names and numbers, it's not about the 1s, 2s, and 3s. Names and numbers actually represent human beings like myself. People who wake up in the morning and have an aim. They represent identities for persons, for communities, for nations, for businesses, for governments. So there are, whenever you see a name and a number, remember there are people behind these names and numbers. And for many users like myself, their online identity is as important as their offline identity, even if not more. For someone like me who spends 18 hours average every day on the internet, you find out that my online identity is becoming more important than my offline identity. And that is why I am asking myself if it's right that organizations be aware of who they are serving, not just what they are delivering, and help us to build the web we want. So quickly, when friends in the Caribbean say that they are feeling overrun in their region by Latin Americans, I think we should listen to that because it's a matter of identity. When users in Africa also say we don't like the one-size-fits-all as regards to registrar's accreditation, maybe we should listen because it always talks about their business. And when committees on public responsibility do some work and give us that report, let's pay attention to what people are saying, because behind names and numbers are people, countries, and companies. On community, as we keep individuals in mind, organizations must be sensitive to the communities they operate in. So far, I think that ICANN has shown great willingness, and I must say congratulations. The stakeholders are increasing by the day, and I see that there's a lot of engagement happening. But it is also a challenge that now we are not talking about the ICANN community as per thousands, but I want us to think as the internet community, and that means in billions. Why? Because the policies of ICANN affect billions of internet community people. So if there is one thing that we all took away from the Net Mondial that we are all talking about, it was something I said and I said again, that those who were physically in the room were not worth more than those who were participating remotely. And so anytime we come to an ICANN meeting, we must be aware that those who are presently wearing badges are not more important than those who are participating remotely. And maybe I should even prolong it and say that the ICANN community in ICANN is not worth more than the non-ICANN community who are affected by the policies that we make in those spaces. So can I ask that question again? Should I expect that ICANN not be only concerned with discussing and debating policies about technical coordination of the internet, but also be